You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Frank and Frankie talking about their ideas on ways you can better prepare for your financial future. ABetterWayFinancial.com is where you can go to learn more about the entire team and begin the conversation about your retirement plan. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there. Or again, find us anytime at ABetterWayFinancial.com. One of the conversations we have had here on the radio before is how much you love doing the work that you do and the longevity factor. Frank, how long have you been at this gig?
4 decades. Wow.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 4 decades now.
But you weren't doing it. You weren't your own business owner in the beginning. You started out working for the big guys.
I started in the industry 4 decades ago.
Yeah.
I worked for one of the major companies and eventually found my way to create my own.
Yeah, understandably, because you had goals and you had ideas, and being an independent financial advisor, another thing we've talked about a lot, the benefits for the end user, the folks that you guys work with, because you're not working for the man. You can show these men and women that come to your office all of these different opportunities. You're not tethered or tied to just one bank, one company, one set of ideas.
No, you can offer people the best of the best.
Yeah. And of course, loving the job. That's another thing you've talked about, just how much you love the work that you do, the people that you get to work with day in and day out, all of the people across Lehigh Valley, these hardworking people that have gotten to this place where they want to retire, but can they retire? That's, of course, the question that I think all of us face when we get into our 50s and 60s. There was a woman who just retired as a bookkeeper for a company. She worked in Davenport, Iowa, 94 years old. Ann Schroeder. She worked at this company for 75 years.
Every day in your life, you don't want to go to work. We all know that. But most every day of my life, I wanted to go to work. Don't stay at a job that you don't like. Find something that meets what you like to do and you do the best at it. Because if you have a job you don't like, you never do the job the proper way. Never.
That is some good advice. I feel like all of the young people of the Lehigh Valley lean in to what Mrs. Schroeder is offering here in the way of advice. The thing about how we feel about our jobs, I think so many of us go into careers loving what we do, but industries, we've all seen it, right? Over the past couple of decades, especially as we have really gotten into the tech evolution, how much industries and positions can change over time. And for many people, that can lead to a place of unhappiness on the job, which then raises the question, maybe it's time that I retire, but can I retire? Can I afford to do it? And guys, this is what you do every single day at the conference room table, helping folks understand their financial position. But how often are people surprised when you say, hey, you don't have to work another couple of years. You can do it right now.
A lot of people are shocked when they hear that they can retire now, because this is something that if they're working and they've saved, they've probably been doing this for 20 to 30 to 40 years. They're not quite like Ann, who's done it for 75 years.
Yeah.
But it's just a way of life.
Yeah.
It's something that this is what you do. This is what you do every day. And when you're in that mindset, it starts to almost become an identity. Yeah. You go around, people ask you, oh, what do you do? What do you do for work? To say, oh, I'm retired. I used to do this. It's a whole switch in what's gone on. And I completely agree with what Ann's saying here and how she's saying, if you don't like your job, don't do it. Life is too short to have a job and not enjoy what you're doing, not being fulfilled in that job. So it's very important that you love your job. And at A Better Way, our whole team here loves what they do and loves serving our clients. But we're also able to show people that if you don't want to work anymore financially, you may not have to keep working. Some people don't like their job as much, or they did like it, and then things changed with management and whatnot, and now they're not at the same feeling of comfort that they had at their job previously. Right. So this is something we look into all the time. We help people retire.
People don't even realize that they can. Here in the Lehigh Valley, we have lots of people that are very, very hard workers and very successful financially. And a lot of them just haven't sat down and figured out that they can do it, that they can retire. They're used to hearing the media talk about inflation and talk about all the problems of the world and the craziness with the markets and all of this stuff. And they don't even realize that they have worked so hard that they have put themselves in a position where that they can retire younger rather than later.
Yeah, and this is something that we do all the time. We try to analyze to see, is it a possibility? Is it something that you can do? If you're still working, we talk about, well, what is your expected retirement date? Sometimes they don't even think about that.
They don't even have one in mind.
We have this conversation until we talk about, well, what does it look like? Because seriously, this is something that's going to happen at some point in your lifetime. Let's start planning for it.
Yeah. Think about less stress in your life. Think about, being able to have the time freedom to do the things that you want to do with your spouse, with your family, the traveling, being able to do all of these things. So many folks don't even realize they can.
And that's what we first want to work on is how do we get that time freedom? What do we look at as far as retirement date? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Can it happen right now?
Yeah.
We financially put into the financial plan. Are you able to retire right now? Does that work financially for you if you're still working? If it doesn't, we'll let you know. But if it does, it's good to know that, hey, I'm working because I want to work, not because I have to work.
I mean, that confidence boost, game changer. I am sure you physically see it on people's faces and shoulders when it's like, here, you can retire today. You can work another 5 years if you want, but that's just a choice.
The joy that we're able to see when we tell people who have been working a long time, long and hard hours, that they financially can retire is astounding. And it's very fulfilling to be able to see that.
Sure. Talk
to
about
see their
job
shoulders
satisfaction.
go down and not have to be stressed and tensed from work, and just to be able to relax. It's amazing to see. And because of the planning that we're able to do, we're able to make that possible. We're able to show them that with the savings they've done, with the analysis, with the planning that we're able to do, we're able to show them how oftentimes they don't have to continue working if they don't want to. And what's even better is we'll show them, if you do want to keep working, here's what that'll mean to you financially. If you work an extra 5 years, maybe you'll be able to spend an extra $10,000 per year in your retirement. If you don't need that extra $10,000 per year in your retirement, well, you can retire right now and not have to worry about going back to work another day if you don't want to.
Frankie, it's like that couple that just came in, right? He was 61 and she was 50, right? Young folks. This fella had a very unique experience.
Okay.
He was actually a police officer on 9/11 right there.
Oh, wow.
And so many of his friends, had gotten sick and I guess some of them had even passed away and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And this guy and his wife, they were such a beautiful couple. I mean, his biggest concern was he wanted to make sure she was going to be okay if he died young.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his biggest fear. And, and when we asked him, when do you want to retire? He said December 2032.
Wow.
8 years from now.
Yeah.
Well, we did a little financial planning, didn't we, Frankie?
Of course we did. And we showed him that he doesn't have to continue working that additional 8 years if he does not want to. And they did a wonderful job saving, and they had accumulated a very nice portfolio. They have saved about $2 million for their retirement. So they did a great job saving. Yeah. They were only living on about $120,000 of income per year. They had some pensions coming in. We wanted to maximize their Social Security benefits as well. And we showed them by setting everything up the right way, they can get that $120,000 of income, and they can retire right now if they wanted to financially.
More. It was actually $156,000 that they could actually live on if they retired right now. And you know what? If they waited till when they wanted to, they would have got it up to $170,000. But what's the trade-off?
Right.
8 more years.
Right.
And he was concerned that something was going to happen to him. And they really wanted to spend the time together to really enjoy each other's time.
Sure. Time is currency, too.
So if this is you, if you're thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I could retire right now. Go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the Sign Up Now button, and we can begin to have this conversation with you.
We also have links posted in the show notes. If it's more convenient, you can just click there to head to our website, which is, again, abetterwayfinancial.com.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com. By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.